Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the July 6, 2019 Vinyl Treasure Show. Hope everybody had a happy 4th of July. Hope you enjoyed your 4th of July, actually long weekend. I had to go into work on Friday, which was a nice ride into Newark. Finally, a great ride into Newark, but it's kind of weird. It felt like Thursday felt like a Sunday for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, I'm here for the next 2 hours spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. We opened up tonight with tenor saxophone Joe Houston. And on the last 50's show, I opened up with the A-side of this 45, a song entitled Way Out. We just played the B-side, another great rockin' tune called All Night Long, the first of two for Joe Houston on John Dolphin's Money label, January 1955 release there for the fabulous Joe Houston and All Night Long. That's what Johnny G's going to be spinning 45s all night long, so stick around here. Let's open up the vocal portion. This scratchy 45, this one on Art Roop's specialty record label. This group, actually the label's out of Los Angeles, California, but the group is out of Atlanta, Georgia. I guess they traveled to California to find fame and fortune, but they fell short of that for sure. But the members were all aged between 15 and 17 years old when they recorded this one. It features Julius High Jr. on lead. We go to March of 55. We open up with the Twilighters on specialty, a song entitled Wah Bop Shawa.
Every day, well, I love the song. Well, every day, I never let you go. Well, see, I say I love you every day. I love you, darling, all by myself. I love you, baby, I squeeze you down. Well, see, I say I love you every day. I love the way you act, I love the way you walk in the lights below. I love the way you talk, I love the way you look, I love the way you dress. When you start rocking, God knows you're the best. I got that feeling in my heart, same old feeling, say we never part. Well, see, I say I love you everywhere.
Yeah, that groove there, ooh, hissy and all on that specialty 45. March 55 released the Twilighters, the name of the group. It's on Art Roop's specialty record label, Wah Bop Shawa is the name of that one. They would have one more release on the Ebb label in 1957. I know if you have that. I know I have that 45. I don't know if I featured it here on the Vinyl Treasure program. And let's continue now. We open up with a couple of fast tunes here before we count down the music chronologically here. Now, this next singer, he was born in California, but he was raised in Oklahoma. Then he returned back to Los Angeles at age 14, and while attending Jefferson High School, he formed his own group, and he called them the Thrills. Now, they rehearsed for label owner Frank Armstrong. He owned Jab Records, and when it came time to record, his group never showed up, so he had to quickly recruit others for the background vocals, which included Carl White and Sonny Harris. Both of them were members of the Sharps. They're singing background vocals on this 45, along with the pianist Bubby Cypers and his band. And this was the result here from June of 56. Let's give a listen to George Zimmerman and the Thrills. It's on Jab Records. I posted this one up on my Facebook wall, a song entitled Whose Baby Are You? Like that there.
I've been trying all my life to find someone like you. I've been trying all my life to find someone like you. Someone to have and to hold and to do all the things you do. I've seen a lot of pretty women, but with you I got upset. I've seen a lot of pretty women, but with you I got upset. Your legs is big, you gas my wig. Tell me whose baby are you? Sweet, walking down the street. You look so sweet, walking down the street. I know it's you, pretty baby, I want to meet. Whose baby are you?
Yeah, that's George Zimmerman and the Thrills there. June 1956 release on the Jab Records label out of Los Angeles, California. Whose Baby Are You is the name of that tune there. Your Johnny G's Baby here from Saturday night from 10 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. We count down the music chronologically here, and here's an early side from April of 1952 by a Washington, D.C. group. I often feature this group here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called the Heartbreakers. They had 4 releases on the RCA record label, and you would think, being with a major label, they would have at least one R&B hit, but unfortunately that never really happened for the group. But they still put out some very nice records, and here's their third on RCA. It features Robert Evans on lead, sending this one out to the Colonel. We go back to April 1952, the Heartbreakers on RCA. It's called Why Don't I?
Why don't I just forget you? Why don't I admit we are through? Why keep on crying now that we're apart? Sighing or crying never helped a broken heart. why don't I take my heart broken and amend it with somebody new? If you wonder why don't I? It's because I'm still in love with you. Why don't I just forget you? Why don't I admit with you? If you wonder why don't I? It's because I'm still in love with you. I'm still in love with you.
Yeah, that's good to the last drop there. Those are the Heartbreakers. Heartbreakers from way back April 1952. Where were you in 52? I wasn't here yet, but anyway, that's on the RCA record label. Why Don't I is the name of that one. Robert Evans on lead there. We'll send that one out to the Colonel as we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. And yes, Brian, you said it. How about a twin spin on the RCA record label? Not a twin spin on the Heartbreakers, although I could have done that. But it's the great Robins out of California on the RCA label. They recorded 6 on RCA. Let's give a listen to their 5th. It features the bass lead of Bobby Nunn, the 5th of 6 releases for the Robins on RCA. We go back to October 1953, the Robins on RCA. It's called Empty Bottles.
Well, just a bottle at the bottom don't mean a thing. Yes, just a bottle at the bottom that don't mean a thing to you. But they remind me, baby, of the best time I ever knew. Well, when I first met you, baby, you drank beer and sherry wine. Yeah, when I first met you, baby, you drank beer and sherry wine. But it didn't take long to change your taste to wine. Well, I dine you and wine, you want pink champagne. It went through your head and you couldn't stand the strain. Oh, let the bottle, it don't mean a thing to you. But they remind me, baby, of the best time I ever knew. Brandy, Scotch, the very best. Bourbon from Kentucky and gin and all the rest. Gave you plenty money each and every day till you found another honey and went your merry way. Oh, let the bottle don't mean a thing to you, but remind me, baby, of the best time I ever knew. Yes, I'm broken, this is morning going down the street. Hustle up enough to get a jug and sneak a peek. Having empty bottles to tell my troubles to. Cause if I can have you, baby, there's no thing else for me to do.
Yeah, those are the Robins. The Robins on the RCA record battle. We completed a twin spin on RCA Records. You can't go wrong with the Heartbreakers. Can't go wrong with the Robins. October 1953. Empty Bottles is the name of that one. Bobby Nunn on lead for that one. That's their 5th of 6 on the RCA record label. We continue now. Let's move into 1954. And got a lot of requests tonight. Going to fill a lot of requests for you, the Top Shelf Oldies listeners. But the doo-wop couple, Ron and Dorothy, they wanted to hear the Larks on the Lloyd's label. Now, sometime in late 1952, the Larks that recorded for Apollo Records, they broke up, and the lead singer, Gene Mumford, he joined the Golden Gate Quartet. But then he decided to return to secular music and reform the Larks. And they had a number of releases on Bess Berman's Lloyd label. Now, this is the second for the group, and they were more popish on here. Actually, Bess Berman said, I want you to be a little bit more popish. There's a record out by the Four Tunes called Marie, and we want to expand our listeners, and we want you to be a little bit more popish in your vocals. So they did a lot of those Lloyd's releases are on the more popish side versus the Apollo releases that were more on a rhythm and blues vein. But anyway, this is by request for Ron and Dorothy, and they requested their second. It features Gene Mumford on lead. We go to June of 54. These are the Larks on Lloyd's. It's called If It's a Crime.
They say I'm a fool for breaking the rule of falling in love with you. If it's a crime to fall in love, I hope I'll get life with you. If I'm to stand trial, I'll go with a smile. I'll swear that my love is true. If it's a crime to fall in love, I hope I'll get life with you. You, my judge and jury, I offer my heart to you. Got to plead that I'm guilty. There's nothing else I can do. I've heard people say that I'd have to pay with many nights sad and blue. If it's a crime to fall in love, I hope I'll get life with you.
You, my judge and jury, I'll offer my heart to you. Got to plead I'm guilty. There's nothing else I can do.
I've heard people say that I'd have to pay with many nights sad and blue. If it's a crime to fall in love, I hope I'll get life
That's by request for the doo-wop couple Ron and Dorothy. June 54, those are the Larks, Gene Mumford on lead. On the Lloyd's record label, that is a subsidiary of Apollo Records. If it's a crime, then I'm guilty. Guilty of loving you. No, it didn't say that. Anyway, I think of another record. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We're spinning the 45's chronologically here. Let's move into 1955 with an answer song by this Los Angeles, California group known as the Jewels. Actually, they were the first to record the song Hearts of Stone on the R&B record label. You may also be familiar with the version by the Charms on Deluxe. And in April of 55, R&B Records sold the Jewels contract to Lou Chudd of Imperial Records, and the group's first release on Imperial was an answer song to Hearts of Stone. This one features Rudy Jackson on lead. We go to April of 1955. These are the Jewels on Imperial, Hearts of Stone. Well, this is Hearts Can Be Broken.
I found out hearts could be broken, and the reason I know, my baby told me so. I asked her how could it be? She said, darling, you can take from me. Yes, I found out what caused me. She been mistreated by another man. I told her I'm not to blame. You know all men are not the same. She smiled and said, yes, 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 yes. I really see hearts can be broken. You can take it from me. I heard her say she never prayed all my love, but she always did. I said, darling, don't be so hard. You know I love you from the depths of my heart. She smiled and said, yes, 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 yes. I really see hearts can be broken. You can take it from me.
Answer tunes here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That is the Jewels there. The Jewels there answering the tune Hearts of Stone. Well, they're saying that hearts can be broken. April 1955 release, the Jewels. Rudy Jackson on lead for that one on Imperial Records. He went on to have solo releases on Imperial. I have him on other labels too. As Johnny G draws a blank as we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. We are in the year 1955. Now, in the last 50 show, I played a request for listener David Hinckley, a 45 on a Leonard Allen States label by the Dandeliers. They were out of Chicago, Illinois. I featured their fourth and final release on States. It was called My Love. Now let's give a spin to their first. And this song relates to a completely different time of the year, that not being summertime, of course. But in my opinion, this song can be heard all year round. It features James Campbell on lead. Let's send this one out to David Hinckley. This one from January 55, the Dandeliers on the States label, a song entitled My Autumn Love.
The leaves they have fallen all over the ground. The leaves has covered the love I have found. My autumn love will carry me. I saw so long throughout my misery. I'll drop my head and turn myself around. But I can't forget the love I was found. He can't forget the love he was found.
I guess she's there to stay, but you'll search again when the leaves have blown away.
Yes, I'll search again when the leaves have blown away. But I can't forget all those happy days. The leaves they have fallen all over the ground. The leaves has covered the love I have found. My autumn love, where can you be tonight?
Like I said, that record could be played any time of the year. It doesn't have to be autumn. It's summertime here. I should do a Christmas in summer show. I should more rarities anyway. Anyway, those are the Dandeliers. We'll send that one out to David Hinckley. The Dandeliers, January 1955, My Autumn Love on the States, a record label. That's their first record. Actually, that was supposed to be the A side, but the DJs were flipping that 45-0. We're playing the flip side, was called Chop Chop Boom, which was actually the biggest hit for the label. Made a number up to number 10 on the Billboard R&B chart. That's the biggest seller for States records. Anyway, Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes. We are in the year 1955. We go back out to California to Eddie and Leo Mesner's Aladdin label this time for this female R&B singer. Her name is Jeannie Barnes, and this appears to be her only release, written by Johnny Otis and Don Johnson. Now, Don Johnson was a big band trumpet player, and this record was reviewed in the October 29th, 1955 edition of Billboard magazine, and Billboard said, strong, a thrushing job on a blues theme with an insistent, infectious beat. Should get spins. That's what Billboard said on this. There's no vocal group on this. Of course, you know Johnny G collects tons and tons, I should say thousands of labels, and I collect the Aladdin label, but I like some cool R&B records like this one, so let's give it a spin. October 55, Jeannie Barnes on Aladdin. It's called Can't Get You Off My Mind.
You off of my mind. You gave me no warning. Can't get you off of my mind. Why did you leave me to sit alone and pine? You told me you love me. Can't get you off of my mind. Place no one above me. You off of my mind. Why did you leave me to sit alone and pine? Last night you told me you and I were one. This morning I woke up and baby you were gone. My This morning I woke up and baby you were gone. My poor heart is breaking, can't get you off of my mind. There ain't nothing shaking, can't get you off of my mind. Why did you leave me to sit alone and pine? Why did you leave me to sit alone and pine? Why did you leave me to sit alone and pine?
October 1955 release there. Jeannie Barnes is her name. That one there on the Aladdin record label. Song entitled Can't Get You Off My Mind. As we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show, we are in the year 1955. We fill a request for listener Chuck Staton, and we stay in Los Angeles, California on the Bahari Brothers RPM record label now for Arthur LeMay and the Crowns. It's their second of 3 on RPM. This one from May 55, RPM Records. Arthur LeMay and the Crowns going out to Chuck Stanton. It's called Love Me Always.
Love me when you are blue. Love me and please be true.
That's a cool tune there by request for Chuck Stanton. May 1955, Arthur LeMay and the Crowns. Yes, Darrell, a baseball player, Arthur LeMay. That one there on the Bahari Brothers RPM record label. Love Me Always is the name of that one, the second of two on RPM. They had an earlier release on the Modern label, a song entitled Set My Heart Free. Johnny G's here for a Saturday evening. It's my all 50s and early 60s edition. We count down the music chronologically here. We head back to Detroit, Michigan for this quintet. Initially, they recorded for the local Mercer label. The songs on Mercer were True Love Gone Back with There Goes, which would be picked up by Coral Records and be their first of four on the Coral label, but with a different flip that first one on Coral. It was True Love Gone backed with the side that I'm going to play right now. It's with Morris King and his orchestra. It features Alton Hollowell on lead. We go to December of 56 for the Enchanters on Coral with a song called Wait a Minute, Baby. Those are the Enchanters. The Enchanters, their group out of Detroit, Michigan. That one there, December 1956. That's the first of four on the Coral label. Wait a Minute, Baby is the name of that one. And Alton Hollowell, he's on lead. Now, their last single is their best single, in my opinion. Came out on the Stardust record label. It's called Spellbound by the Moon. That's a great record they do. And an ultra rare 45, by the way. Have featured it here on the program. I'll get it on a future show. I have a program note next Saturday. I will not be here next Saturday. Barbara and I are going to a Cirque du Soleil performance in Hartford, Connecticut, and I will not be here. It's a truck to drive up there, so we got tickets. She really wanted to go. I really have to give Barbara a Saturday. I have to share one Saturday with Barbara during the year, and that's the Saturday I'm sharing. So I will not be here. Ramtown Mike will be filling in, so please tune in to Ramtown Mike next Saturday. He'll be here in the chair for me, but I'll be at the Cirque du Soleil water show. So I'll let you know how that turns out. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. Now, on the last 50s edition, I played a request for George Tompkins by the Vocal Tones. They are out of Harlem, New York. They They recorded 2 on Bess Berman's Apollo label. Now, George requested their first. It was a song called My Girl. He also would like to hear, actually, I'm sorry, they have 3, not 2. He also would like to hear their third, and it features Bobby Johnson on lead. So we're sending this one out to George Tompkins, this one from August 56, the vocal tones on Apollo, and their tune called My Version of Love.
Meet as they walk the streets in search for life's destiny. As they walk along, their love grows strong. This is my version of love. 2 lips would kiss, feeling love's sweet bliss, enjoying nature's ecstasy, my version of love. Go through life together and someday find your paradise, or struggle through all kinds of weather, as all lovers must bear the price. Walk on and be happy, oh be happy, happy and gay, my version of love. Yes, this is my version, my version of love.
August 1956 release there by request for George Tompkins, the vocal tones there, My Version of Love, Bess Berman's Apollo record label for that one. What a cool tune that is. Bobby Johnson on lead. Previously, the vocal tones recorded as the Dovers on Apollo, Miriam Great and the Dovers. That's a rare 45 on the Apollo label. I have featured it here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Let's continue here, and we are in the year 1956. Got a male duet up next. They're from New Orleans, Louisiana. It's on Leonard Chess's Chess record label. They go by the name of Arthur and Booker, a.k.a. Arthur Booker and James Little Booker. There is no relation between the two, but James Little Booker, he was an R&B pianist. He had his own releases on the Ace and Imperial label as Little Booker, but here they are together. September 1956 on the Chess label, Arthur and Booker. It's called Youre Near Me.
Baby, you're my heart's desire. You set my soul on fire every time you're near me. How can I forget that sweet night we met? How can I forget you standing there, head in the air, as the stars went by? That's just when, yes, just then, your heart seemed to win mine. Baby, you're my heart's desire.
You set my soul on fire every time you're near me. Standing there, head in the air, as the stars went by. That's just when, yes, just then, your heart seemed to win my eye. Baby, you are my heart's desire. You set my soul on fire every time you're near me. Every time you're near me. Every time you're near me. Every time you're near me.
Duets here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Arthur and Booker is that duet. September 1956 release on the Chess record label. Youre Near Me. I think that's the name of it. Yes, Youre Near Me. That's really Arthur Booker. It's Arthur and Booker, but it's Arthur Booker and James Little Booker. Anyway, Johnny G booking 45's here for a Saturday evening as we continue here now in the last 50's edition. I played a request for Ron and Dorothy by the Kingsmen on the Neil label. It was called One Foolish Mistake. They asked if I could flip the 45 over and give a listen to the flip side, as I really can't find any information about this group. I know they're called the Kingsmen. I know they have another release on the All-Star record label, so we'll send this one out to Ron and Dorothy's from October 56. The Kingsmen on Neil. It's called Stranded Love, parentheses, Broken Heart, Worried Mind.
A stranded love, a broken heart, a worried mind. Come to me, wherever you are, my darling. Can you see that I need you oh so much? We were once so in love, but you left me now. I'm sorry. Oh, I miss your sweet kiss and the magic of your touch. A stranded love, a broken heart, a weary mind. I was wrong, you belong back within my arms forever. Say you will bring a thrill to this aching heart of mine. You've been gone oh so long. Now I'm begging for forgiveness. Yes, I strayed, but I have prayed. I've been suffering all this time. A stranded love, a broken heart, a weary mind. You've been gone oh so long. Now I'm begging for forgiveness. Yes, I strayed, but I've paid. I've been suffering all this time. A stranded love, a broken heart, a weary mind.
And that That's it. It sounds like some lullaby song there. It does. Anyway, they're called the Kingsmen for Ron and Dorothy, October 56 on the Neil label. Yes, Rockin' Ed, a non-Monarch 45. There you go. But anyway, those are the Kingsmen, Stranded Love, Broken Heart, Worried Mind. Hopefully you don't have any of those here tonight listening to the Vinyltreasure Show as we continue here. Now, here's a song, this next 45, that my Aunt Mary really liked. She never owned a copy of this. I remember how happy she was when I found a copy at the Yonkers Raceway Flea Market so many years ago in the mid-1970s. We used to drive there. I was learning how to drive. I was probably a senior in high school, 1975 or 76, some time period at that time, driving to Yonkers, New York to go to this flea market. I'd have to get there early, like at least 6:30, 7 o'clock, to get the people bringing out the 45s. Of course, they didn't have a lot of money then, so there was I forget his last name, but his name was Marty, and he said he would be there before me, like at the crack of dawn, and he'd say, "Johnny G, go over there. There's a guy with 45s. You know, I collect pop records, but go over there. There's some cool group records." And he was correct. He was really correct. There were group records there, and I'd get there first, and I actually made a couple big scores at the Yonkers Raceway Flea Market. But this was one of them. It's not a rare record, but it was a record that my aunt liked for many years. She said when she went to the record store, they were always sold out. But anyway, this was not on the national charts. It did chart locally, this record, but anyway, it's on the Keen label out of Culver City, California, and actually this did chart nationally. It was number 69 on Billboard, a big number 7 on WORC out of Worcester, Massachusetts. It's with Bumps Blackwell and his orchestra. Features Billy Storm on lead. This one from October 57. These are the Valiants on Keen with their classic tune. It's called This Is the Night.
This is the night for love, oh, with the stars up above. This is the night for love. This is the night for love. This is the night for love. What we'll remember with the stars up above. Oh, this is the night for love. This is the night for love. Oh, I'm gonna love you with all my heart, just hoping, dear, that we'll never part. You're the girl I'm thinking of, for this is the night for love. The night for love. Come on, be mine, oh, in this night made for love. This is the night for love. I'm gonna love you, dear, with all my heart. I'm just hoping we'll never part. I love you, please be mine, for this is the night for love. The night for love. Come on, be mine. This is the night for love.
That's the first of 5 for the Valiants on the Keen record label. Billy Storm on lead there. October 1957. This Is the Night is the name of that tune. I think of my aunt when I play that 45. I do. She was supposed to come up here in November to do a special, but she didn't survive her heart attack. So I'm going to do a tribute to her in November on her birthday, I think November 21st. Around that time when I do the show, I'll play her original records. They're all scratchy. Who is it? Daryl says he likes the scratchy original vinyl 45s. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue. Here we are in the year 1957. We head back to California for this vocal quartet that formed in Richmond, California. They recorded 2 on Leon Renee's Class label. Let's give a listen to their first. It features Curtis Stanton on lead. This one from December 57. They're called the Sputniks. The Sputniks on Class, and their tune's called My Love Is Gone.
My love, she's gone.
I love you, darling. I love you again and again. I feel deep down in my heart, if you'll only come back home where you belong. Oh Lord, hear me and send my darling home to me.
That's a nice tune. Haven't heard that one there in a while. Those are the Sputniks, December 57 release on the Class label. My Love Is Gone is the name of that one. Curtis Stanton on lead there. Now, Chicago disc jockey Nathaniel the Magnificent Montague, who arrived in Los Angeles at radio station KSAN, had a lot to do with promoting this group and that song. Not to mention, he co-wrote this tune. It was derived from the song My Own True Love. It was based on Tara's theme from the classic movie Gone with the Wind. And this tune re-released on the Pamar label, but in 1962, the group became very soulful later on. I have those. I think, Warren, you requested one of those Pamar 45's that I've still been looking for. It's somewhere in my boxes, and I can't find them. No, I can't. But anyway, also this group recorded another 45 on the Ebb label as The Greats. I think it was cited something about Elvis, I think. I have played it here on the show. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening, spinning a original vinyl 45's. Let's continue here. We stay in the year 1957 for a 45 on Bobby Robinson's Fury label. It's the first of two for this Brooklyn, New York group. Their first 45 came out on Deluxe Records. This was their next. Now, the lead singer, his name is Rudy Anderson. Now, Rudy Anderson was previously the lead of the Wheels that recorded on the Premium record label. I'm sure you know their tune, My Heart's Desire, on Premium Records, plus others. That was back in 56. This is in 1957. He was a member of the Federals. This one from July 57, the Federals on Fury. It's called You're the One I Love.
My soul on fire.
Come closer to me, hug me, honey, ooh, oh baby, yeah, baby, yeah, oh baby, you're what I love, yeah, I love you so much, darling. Oh, my one desire. So hold me, honey, hold me.
Set my soul on fire.
Oh, come close to me. Hug me, honey, ooh, oh, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, ooh, baby. You're the one I love. Yeah, ooh, baby. You're the one I love. Ooh, baby. You're the one I love. Oh, baby.
July 57 release there for the Federals. Rudy Anderson on lead. That one there, Bobby Robinson's Fury label. You're the One I Love is the name of that one. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We are in the year 1957. Let's stay in Brooklyn, New York with a flip side from the last 50 show. It's on George Gollner's Cindy label. I featured Cleo and the Crystaliers with Please Be My Guy. So let's flip that 45 over. It's a nice ballad on the flip side. It features Cleo Baker on lead. This one, 1957, Cindy Records, Cleo and the Crystaliers. It's called Don't Cry.
When the heart fades away, that heart is there to stay. Don't cry, don't cry.
Sounds of 1957 here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Cleo and the Crystaliers on the Cindy label. Don't Cry is the name of the tune. Cleo Baker, she's on lead. A year later, she would become the lead of the Fawns on the Apt label. 1958, they have a nice one called Until I Die. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We are in the year 1957. Listen closely to this next record. It relates to the following record as we go into the year 1958. I think, well, we'll see if they're the same lead singers. But anyway, on the last 50 show, I played a request for George Tompkins by the Planets on the Era label. The first of two they recorded on Era. It was called Stand There Mountain. It featured Vince Howard on lead, a.k.a. Vince House. He was also the lead singer of the Rhythm Aces that recorded on the VJ record label. Now, George also requested their second 45 on the Era label, which again features Vince Howard on lead. So we're going to send this one out to George Tompkins, but listen closely to the lead singer, because the next record I play, I'm not sure if he is the lead singer singing in a baritone voice, but he's got a very bass, deep voice here on this one. So listen closely. This is going out to George Tompkins, November 57, The Planets on Era. It's called Be Sure.
Be sure that you love me. Look deep in your heart. Be sure that you love me. Or maybe it's better that we part. Be it's not moonlight that makes love seem real. Tonight there is magic. Tomorrow I wonder how you'll feel. Playing love is playing with fire, and I've been burned before. I was so hurt, and I want to be hurt no more, no more, no more, unless it's the real thing. Love cannot endure. I'm sure that I love you, baby. You too must be sure. So when you say you love me, please be sure.
That's going out to George Tompkins there. Those are the Planets, their second release on Lou Bedell's Era record label, November 1957, The Planets with Be Sure. Now we move into 1958 now on the Dot label. This group is called the Class Notes, and according to the Colonel, he suggests that the lead on this next song is the lead we just heard with the Planets, but in a baritone voice. So you have to listen closely to this. And interestingly enough, the flip side, that's why I flipped it over, those of you watching in the video chat, that Vince House, aka Vince Howard, gets writer credit on the flip side of some novelty tune. It's called Goodness Gracious. But this side that I'm spinning is the better side. We'll send it out to the Colonel. This one from June 58, the Class Notes on Dot. It's called You Inspire Me.
I can paint the scene highest star. Fly to the moon, no matter how far. Whatever you do, stay as you are. You inspire me. Don't ever leave. Don't ever go. I lose all I live for. I love you so. I could write a symphony when I hold you close to me. Give me your love for eternity. You inspire me. No, don't ever leave. No, 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 don't ever go. I lose all I live for. I love you so. I could write a symphony when I hold you close to me. Give me your love for eternity. You inspire me.
June 58 there for the Class Notes. The Class Notes on the Dot label. Song entitled You Inspire Me. That goes out to Mr. George Tompkins, who inspires your host, Johnny G. Yes, he does. But I think, George, you're right. They're agreeing in the YouTube chat room that those voices do sound similar. Different. He's much more lower on the Era label, I think, but sounding the same to me. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes. We are in the year of 1958 now. On the last 50 show, played a request for Bopper Boy Warren. He wanted to hear this girl group out of New York City. They were called the Vestels. They had this one release on the Decca label. Warren requested the tune Come Home. So let's give a listen to the flip side before it goes back down in the No Humidity basement. It features Darnell, Jessime on lead. We go to September of 1958. The Vestels on Decca. It's called Diddy Wah-Doo.
Now, baby, I really love you so. I'll never, never let you go. I need you near me.
They're called the Vestels. The Vestels there, September 1958. Darnell Jessame on lead for that one. Dinnawa Do is the name of that one on the Decca record label. Jessame would also lead what is it? Darnell and the Dreamers, I think, on the West Side record label. I think that's what it is, Charlene. I had it on my last show there. Anyway, Johnny G losing his mind here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes here as we continue in the year 1958. And with a request for California listener Matey Campboy. And we all want to wish her a happy birthday. Actually, a belated birthday. She celebrated her birthday on Thursday, July 4th. I think that's what it was, Matey. I think what you told me. Happy belated birthday to a California listener, Matey Campboy. She also gave Johnny G some cool requests. She requested this next 45. We go back to Eddie and Leo Mesner's Aladdin label. Now, this song, it was written by Eugene Church, and it's by Jesse Belvin and the Sharptones, but in reality, it is a duet. It's a duet between Jesse Belvin and Buster Williams. So by special request for Matey Campboy, the birthday girl, this one from June 58, Jesse Belvin and the Sharptones on Aladdin Records. It's called Let Me Dream.
Let me dream while the moon is bright. Let me dream while my heart is light on this a perfect night. Whoa, 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 whoa. I close my eyes and in slumber soft I see a face throughout my every thought for you. Are the angel in my dream? Now, now, oh, you're my baby, and you always be. My ever-loving baby, you were meant for me. Let me love for the rest of my life. Loving you is a perfect delight for you. Are the angel in my dream? Are the angel in my dream? Are the angel in my dream? Oh, are the angel in my dream? Whoa.
By request for Matey Campboy, we say hello to her. She's in the YouTube chat room. Jesse Belvin and the Sharptones there. June 1958, Let Me Dream on the Aladdin record label. That's really a duet there. Jesse Belvin and Johnny G loses his mind. Buster Williams, yes. That's a cool tune. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. And we move into the year 1959 with a request for a Moonglows song by the doo-wop couple Ron and Dorothy. Now, by 1959, the group was on the verge of breaking up. Now, Harvey Fuqua was exploring other avenues, and Bobby Lester was getting into trouble with narcotics. Their last appearance singing together was on January 9th of 1959 at the Apollo Theater. Now, Harvey Fuqua and Bobby Lester, they were starting to have solo recordings, solo sessions going on. The group was really starting to disband. So Harvey put together a new Moonglows group and recorded a number of masters. Now, one of the sides released was 12 Months of the Year, which included a young Marvin Gaye doing the recitation. Resuscitation. That's when Johnny G needs to be resuscitated. But anyway, the flip side of this is really the original group, although it just mentions Harvey on the label. And I think this was featured in the film Go Johnny Go, if I'm not mistaken. But this was actually recorded in December of 57 by all the original Moonglows. They recorded this, but only Harvey gets recognition on the label. This was from the movie Go Johnny Go. So by request for Ron and Dorothy, April 59, Harvey, a.k.a. the Moonglows on chess, with Don't Be Afraid to Love.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Love you more and more every time you say that we are through and you go away for a day or two. 20 and a 30 and a 40 and a 50 and a 60 seconds a minute, I'm thinking of you. If you love me like I love you, what a merry, merry world this would be to me. What a merry, merry world this would be. Oh, love me like you mean it. Love is something you shouldn't miss, shouldn't miss. The way it looks to me like you don't even know how to get ready for a kiss. Gosh, oh my golly, by really good. I wish you wouldn't treat me oh so doggone cold. Come close to me, cause I want you to see. And don't be afraid if you get a funny feeling, darling, don't be afraid to love. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20 and a 30 and a 40 and a 50 and a 60 seconds a minute, I'm thinking. Love me like you mean it. Love is something you shouldn't miss, shouldn't miss. The way it looks to me like you don't even know how to get ready for a kiss. Gosh, oh my golly, gee, by Willie, I wish you wouldn't treat me oh so doggone cold. Come close to me, cause I want you to see. And don't be afraid if you get a funny feeling, darling, don't be afraid to love. Oh no, darling, don't be afraid to love.
As by request for the doo-wop couple, Ron and Dorothy, the Harvey, a.k.a. those are all the Moonglows singing on that side, April 59. Don't Be Afraid to Love, Leonard Chess's Chess record label. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, we head back to California for a flip side from, I think it played the other side of this on the June 6th show. This group called the Marquis played the B-side of this, their third release on Warner Brothers. It was called Don't Be Mean, Geraldine. But let's give a listen to the intended A-side before we file this one back down in the No Humidity basement. Now, this song sounds very much like a Flamingos tune, so listen very closely. I think this sounds like Lovers Never Say Goodbye, but you could be the judge. We go to December of 59. These are the Marquis, Marquees, on Warner Brothers. It's called Until the Day I Die.
I love you. Until the day I die.
I think they sound like trying to sound like the Flamingos on that one. Those are the Marquis December 59 release, Until the Day I Die. That one there on the Warner Brothers record label. We continue here on Vinyl Treasures, and here's another flip side from the last 50s show. I featured a group called the Tender Tones by request for David Hinckley. The group from Brentwood, New York was on the Ducky label, I think Ducky Records out of Endicott, New York. I played Just for a Little While. Now let's give a listen to the flip side. It features Alex Fermaint on lead. This one from August 59. They're called the Tender Tones. It's on Ducky. It's called I Love You So. August 59 release on the Ducky record label. Those are the Tender Tones. Tender Tones with I Love You So. Johnny G, hopefully you feel all ducky with these 45s. As we continue here, we head back out to the West Coast for this next record on Jake Porter's Combo label. Now, Carl White, he was a lead singer for the Sharps, took a temporary leave of absence from the Sharps to do some other recordings, and here is one he did on the Combo label with a group of studio backup singers dubbed Carl L. and the Buddies. Now, the song was out at the same time by Mary Kinney on the Andex record label. I think actually she did it first on the Andex label, but let's give a listen to this. Actually, this is the male version of the song from January of 1959. Carl L., a.k.a. Carl White on lead, and the Buddies on the Combo label. It's called Bobby, My Love.
Bobby, my love, I love you so. Bobby, my love, I need you so. Bobby, Bobby, help me you say you belong to me? Come what may, tell me you are my girl. Oh, my darling, I love you so. Oh, my darling, I'll never, never, never let you go. Bobby, my love, take my heart and say that we never ever part. Bobby, Bobby, tell me you are my girl. Whoa, oh my darling, I love you so. Oh my darling, I'll never, never, never let you go. Bobby, my love, just take my heart and say that we would never part. Whoa, Bobby, tell me you are my girl.
January of 59 release there for Carl L. and the Buddies. That's really, though, Carl White on lead. Bobby My Love is the name of that one. Jake Porter's combo record label for that one. And Carl White also did lead on another group, the Ebb Tides, I think, on the Janlar label. I have that 45 also. We'll feature that one on a future Vinyl Treasure show. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We continue here. Played a request on the last 50 show for Bopper Boy Warren by a group called The Individuals. They were out of Los Angeles, California, the first of two they recorded on the Showtime label. Warren requested Jungle's Superman. It features the bass of the group. His name was Art Ward. He was on lead. Now, the flip side features Johnny Staton. Now, he was the lead, previously the lead of the Feathers, who evolved into this group, The Individuals. And he also wrote this tune. Let's go back to June of 1959 on the Showtime record label. We flip over Jungle Superman. These are The Individuals with Met Her at a Dance.
I met her at a dance. I met her at a dance. Oh, I met her at a dance. I never thought I'd have a chance. She had those great big beautiful eyes, so great big beautiful eyes.
Those are the Individuals. The Individuals there from June of 59, Met Her at a Dance. Came out on the Showtime record label. That's the flip side to Jungle Superman. Johnny Staten on lead for that one as we continue here. We move into 1960. I got a request for listener Chuck Staten. He wanted to hear this group from Providence, Rhode Island. Initially, they had 3 releases out of the New York City-based Felsted label. Then in 1960, I had this release on the Planet label, which is out of Providence, Rhode Island. It features Joe Hill on lead. So by request for Chuck, this one from October 1960, the Castaliers. The Castaliers on Planet. It's called That's Why I Cry.
Side at night, because I long to hold and squeeze you tight, because I try so hard to make love right. That's why I cry, because within my heart there lies a thrill. Because the warmth of your kiss lingers still. Because I love you, guess I always will. That's why I cry for you. Oh, too many nights I've been lonely. Too many nights I've been blue. Too many nights I cried myself to sleep, wondering if you love me too. I cry because the things you do just hurt me so. I cry because how much I care you'll never know. I cry because I'm so afraid you'll let me go. That's why I cry for you.
Yeah, that's a nice tune there. The group out of Providence, Rhode Island. They're called the Castaliers. October 1960, going out to Chuck Staten. That's a great tune. That's Why I Cry on the Planet record label. This was re-released on Bob Keene's Donna Records. I don't know how it ends up on Donna Records in 1961, but it did. Anyway, Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the Cool Tunes program. Note, next Saturday, I will not be here. I'll be out at the Cirque du Soleil water aerobics type thing that they're doing. Barbara had her heart set on going to that, so I ended up purchasing the tickets. So we're going to take a truck up to Hartford, Connecticut. Where's Market Street on Hartford, Connecticut? If anybody knows where that is. Is that like the main drag? Where could they have like this thing? It's like under some big top. I don't know. But anyway, they do it. Anyway, Ramtown Mike will be filling in next Saturday for your host, for Johnny G. Let's continue here in the year 1960. Now, a couple weeks ago, I featured the Desires on B. Caslin's Hull record label. Actually, it was a request for Chuck. He requested Set Me Free, My Darling, but I also like the flip side from March of 1960. It features Robert Bootsy White on lead. These are the Desires on Hull, and their tune called Rendezvous with You.
Rendezvous
Those are the Desires. Remember hearing that on oldie radio in the early 1970s. The Desires with the John G. Lost His Place with Robert Bootsy White on lead, March 1960. That is the second of two on the Hull record label, Rendezvous with You. As we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show, we go back to Brooklyn, New York for this group. They had 3 releases on the Coral label. They were called the Explorers. Let's give a listen to their second on the Coral label. It was co-written by the lead singer. His name is Dennis Lowell. This one from February 60, the Explorers on Coral with Don't Be a Fool.
Don't be a fool when I kiss you goodnight. Don't be a fool when I hold you tight. You know I love you, so don't be a fool. Don't be a fool by playing your games, for if you do, my love will then change. But if you love me, oh, don't be a fool. You tell me you love me, you tell me you care. Then when I said the same, your love you don't want to share. Oh, run around with other guys when I'm not there. Tell me, darling, why am I supposed to care? Don't be a fool by playing your games, for if you do, my love will then change. But if you love me, oh, don't be a fool. Don't be a
Yeah, liking that one there in the top shelf, not top shelf, YouTube chat room. The Explorers there, February 1960. That's their second release on the Coral label. Don't Be a Fool is the name of that tune. Johnny G here, trying not to be a fool here on a Saturday evening as we continue here. Now, this next group, they're from Farmingdale, Long Island. They had 3 releases on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. You may know their biggest hit was their debut single on the Josie label, recorded earlier in 1960. It was called Cruise to the Moon. They followed that up with another celestial-related song in an attempt to copy the Elegance Little Star. That's what I say. It features Tony Amato on lead. This one charted here in New York City. It was number 23 on WMGM in New York City. It's from September 1960. Give a listen to the Chaperones. The Chaperones on Josie. It's called Shining Star.
Shining star, where are you? Help me find a love that's true. Shining star, where are you? Help me find a love that's true. Shining brightly up above, lead me to the one I love. Shine so bright and clear. Help me bring my loved one near. I dream each night and day that she will come my way. I pray that star above will light my way to love. Shining star up in the blue, try to make my dreams come true. Whether she is near or far, guide my way, oh shining star. Help me find a girl to love. I pray to you, oh star above. Shining star, help me find the girl to love. I pray to you, oh star above.
That's their follow-up to Cruise to the Moon. Those are the Chaperones. September 1960 release, Shining Star is the name of that one. Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. Tony Amato, he is on lead. We move into the year 1961. Let's send this next 45 out to the Colonel. I know he likes this song as we go back to Los Angeles, California, to the Aries label. This 45, though, for you collectors out there, came out twice. First on the Maroon label, which is the first press of Maroon Aries. Then in 61, it came out like on a light blue Aries label. That would be 1962 release. This artist's name is Al McGee. Al McGee, along with an unknown vocal group backing him up. Of course, Johnny G is a completist. I own both presses of this, but I'm featuring the true first press on the Maroon label. This one from 61, Al McGee and group on Aries. It's called Lucky Joe.
You're in love, but it's not with me. You're in love, you're so happy I can see. love is a thing that make my life worthwhile. Love is a thing I have searched in you, but since old Joe came along, my whole life is through. And since old Joe came along, my whole life is through. Mama, what can I do?
Sounds of 61 here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, going out to the Colonel there, Al McGee, and a group on the Aries label. Song entitled Lucky Joe. Lucky Joe. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here, and continuing with more requests. Here's one for Chuck Staton. He wanted to hear this group out of Wilmington, Delaware. They had 3 releases on Vince Rago's Ritchie label, but this was re-released a second time on the Pick label, P-I-K, and the group is called Teddy and the Continentals. Now, Teddy, the lead, is really Teddy Hendry, and he also wrote this tune. I was looking for the first press, the Ritchie release, which is actually a black Ritchie label, which is the harder copy to find, the harder record to find. I had it somewhere, I couldn't find it, but I did find my VG styrene press of this, so hopefully it plays okay. So this is going out to Chuck Staton, February 61 release, Teddy and the Continentals on Pick. It's called Tick Tick Tock.
Tick, tick, tock, ticking on the clock. 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 Tick, 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 tock. Tick, tick, tock, ticking on the clock.
Here I sit, looking at the clock on the wall, but it doesn't say anything at all. It knows I'm lonely, waiting for you to call. Here I am, just staring at the clock, but it just goes tick tock. Well, I want my baby, it's just about time to rock. What do you want with me? What do you want with me? Did she call me on the phone? Is she all alone? Yeah, yeah. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. That clock just goes, yeah, tick-tock. Well, that's all. Well, that's all. Bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye, baby. That's all. That's all. Well, that's all.
Yeah, that sounds like The Clock, the Johnny Ace original version of The Clock. Lee Andrews and the Hearts do The Clock, but that's called Tick Tick Tock. By request for Chuck Staton, Teddy and the Continentals, February 61 release. I featured it on the Pick label. That is a second press. Originally came out on Vince Rago's Ritchie label. Johnny G here. We are now in Vinyl Treasure Overtime, and we are in the year 1961. It's a request again from a listener, Métis Campboy. She requested a group called the Nuggets. They had 2 releases on the RCA record label. Now, this group previously recorded as the Calvains. They had releases on Dutone and the Deck labels, but with a few personnel changes, they recorded as the Nuggets. Now, Matey requested their first, which features Sidney Dunbar on lead. So by request for Matey, this one from August 61, the Nuggets on RCA. It's called Before We Say Goodnight.
Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night.
Before we say goodnight, my darling, tell me everything's right. Those angry words that awful fight before we say goodnight. Good night. Before you close the door, say you're not angry anymore. Our love will go on forevermore. Tell me before we say goodnight. Good night, good night. I just couldn't go and leave you this way after that scene tonight. I couldn't sleep a wink, wouldn't sleep a wink throughout this long and endless night. Before we say goodnight, my darling, tell me everything's right, and our tomorrows will be sunny and bright. Tell me before we say goodnight.
Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night.
Those are the Nuggets by request for Matey Campboy. August 61, Before We Say Goodnight. That one there on the RCA record label, the first of 2 on RCA Records. Their other one is called Just a Friend, is a pretty cool tune that they do. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. One more 45 to go in 1961, and we continue with the requests again for Chuck Staton. Wants to hear this group from Glen Cove, Long Island, discovered by Slim Rose. He was the owner of Times Square Records. Now Slim leased these masters of theirs to the Atco record label, and they put it out as a single. Now, one side was called Pretty Pretty Girl. Now, Chuck requested the flip side, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Roger LaRue. This one from June of 61. They're called the Time Tones. The Time Tones on Atco with I've Got a Feeling.
Oh, I've got a feeling that you don't love me no more.
Those are the Time Tones. I love their records, the Time Tones. House Where Lovers Dream, In My Heart. Oh, they do great records like that one there, too. That's a great request. Thank you for that one, Chuck. Those are the Time Tones. The Time Tones there, Roger LaRue on lead. I've Got a Feeling. That's the B-side, by the way. June 61 release on the Atco record label. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, we move into 1962. It's a request from my high school friend, Robert Neal. I had a nice time at lunch on July 4th. We went to like a 50's diner. And remember in high school, because I was into music and I had like a little clique of friends. We would talk sports and talk records. They would pick my brain on, and they didn't know any of the things that I mean, my aunt was exposing me to all this music and not really a lot of these rarities, but all along, Robert Neal was involved in the music, and he asked me the other day, he said, do you have any records by the Corsairs? And I said, yeah, the Smoky Places guys. So actually, we stopped over real quick, and I played my Corsairs records. I actually heard one called, what was it called? While or Waiting? I forget, but I'll get that one on in a couple weeks. But he picked this one, which was their second biggest hit. Now, the Corsairs, they were from LaGrange, North Carolina. They consisted of three brothers, Jay Moses and James Uzel, and cousin George Wooten, and they signed with Abner Spector's Tough record, and they had a hit, of course, with Smoky Places. Now, Robert requested their second, which I guess this was also their second biggest hit because this did get some airplay. It was number 70 on Cashbox, 68 on Billboard, was a number 16 on WLS out of Chicago, Illinois. We send this one out to Robert Neal. It features Jay Uzel on lead. This one from March of 62, the Corsairs on Chess. It's called, or Tough, I should say, Chess distributed it. It's called I'll Take You Home.
I'll take you home. I'll take you home.
After the dancing and the singing, after the wedding feast is through,
By request for my buddy Robert Neal, those are the lost my place. The Corsairs from March of 1962. Jay Uzel. I think that's how you pronounce it. Uzel. That's how you pronounce it. The Corsairs there with I'll Take You Home on the Tough record label. That is their second biggest hit, their follow-up to Smoky Places. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's stay in the year of 62 with another request for Chuck Staton, this group from Yonkers, New York. Now, Yonkers is like right in Johnny G's backyard. And this song written by the lead singer, his name is Sal Corrente, a great guy. I spoke to him on the phone. My second cousin came here one day, and he goes to the local shows here, like the doo-wop shows, and he knows him personally from Yonkers. And he called me up, and I said, I got to have all your records, because he sang with other groups into the 60s, but this was his first record, and he wrote this tune, and it's by request for Chuck. These are the Dials. It's from October 62, the Dials on Phillips, and the song is called At the Start of a New Romance.
At the start of a new romance, you'll find it oh so new. At the start of a new romance, you'll find you want it to never end or be this way. Remember all the nights and days at the start of a new romance.
Boom, 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 boom.
At the start of a new romance, won't you give Cupid a chance? At the start of a new romance, won't you give him a chance to find someone who's fit for you? I love you, baby, as much as I do. At the start of a new romance.
So look all around you.
Make sure it's true.
Look at the sky.
So clear and so blue.
Look at the stars.
That twinkle in your eyes. At the start of a new romance, you'll find it oh so new. At the start of a new romance, you'll find you want it to never end or be this way. Remember all the nights and days at the start of a new romance.
So look all around you.
Make sure it's true.
Look at the
So
sky.
clear and so blue.
Look at the stars.
That twinkle in your eyes. At the start of a new romance, won't you give Cupid a chance? At the start of a new romance, won't you give him a chance to find someone who's fit for you? I love you, baby, as much as I do. At the start of a new romance.
Boom, 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 sha-la, 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 boom, 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 sha-la.
Oh, that one there for Chuck Staton there, October 62, the Dials, Sal Corrente on lead. He wrote the tune on the Phillips label At the Start of a New Romance. You want that 45 on the vinyl promo. That's the way to get it. I think that's styrene, not good. No, it is not. First time I heard that was sometime in the late 70s. I used to listen to this WHBI. Used to be the last show on the docket for Sunday night. It was the Johnny Angel show. He played that 45 the first time I heard it. Anyway, Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We were spinning original vinyl 45s. It's the early 60s. I got another flip side from a couple of weeks ago. Ron and Dorothy requested this Philadelphia PA group. They were called the Citations on the Donnell record label. The side I played for them was Kiss in the Night. I also liked the flip side of the record. It was written by the lead singer. His name is William Lucas Jr. This one from March 62. The Citations on Donnell. It's called It Hurts Me.
It hurts me, to see you leave. It hurts me, to see you grieve. Oh, darling, it hurts me so. Say goodbye, it brings the tears into my eyes. Oh, darling, it hurts me so much. Darling, so much you'll never know. So please, come on back home into my arms, where you belong. For darling, it hurts me so. Hurts me so.
That's from March 62. They're called the Citations. Citations with William Lucas Jr. on lead. It's on Donnell Records out of Philadelphia, PA. It's called It Hurts Me. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's continue here. Got a girl group sound up next, and it's a request from Métis Camp Boy. I have no info, though, on this group, but it came out on the Cub label. Cub Records, a subsidiary of MGM Records. Now, the writers of this song are Barry Darvell and Robert Duke Leonard. Now, Barry Darvell, he also recorded for the Cub label, had a release in 61 called Fountain of Love back with Little Angel Lost. Now, and Robin Duke Leonard, he was Barry's manager for a while, and they both collaborated on some songs together, this being one of them. So by request from Métis, here is Marie and the Decors. We go back to September 62, Marie and the Decors on Cub. It's called I'm the One.
La 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 la, doing
September 62 release there by request for Matey Campboy, Marie and the Decors on the Cub record label, song entitled I'm the One. As we continue here on Vinyl Treasures, let's head back to Philadelphia, PA for this next group. This group consisted of members of a few groups, one being Little Joe and the Thrillers that recorded for OK Records, the Royal Demons on Rhythm, and the Madison Brothers on Cedar Grove. Together they were called the Creators. There are a couple group members in each one of those groups that formed this group. Now, they put out this cool song on the Epic record label. It's from June of 63, and this is not styrene. I have a vinyl press of this. June 63, they're called the Creators. On Epic, it's called Crazy Love. They're called the Creators. The Creators there on the Epic record label. That is, yes, Warren, that mine is also a vinyl stock copy there, yellow stock copy. Those are the Creators' June 63 release. Crazy Love is the name of that tune as we continue here. Now, I have another request for California listener Matey Campboy. She requested a group called The Channels, spelled differently than Earl Lewis's group. This has two N's and two L's, but one member of this group was an original channel that recorded on Whirling Disc Records. It's the first tenor of the group, Larry Hamden. And the other members were Gene Williams, he was second tenor, Revo Hodge, he was the bass, and lead singer Tony Williams, he's the lead singer, but not the Platters Tony Williams. Now, Matey requested this 45 on the Hit label. It's out of Elizabeth, New Jersey, but they do try to sound like Earl Lewis's channel. So by request for Matey, we go back to January 63, The Channels on Hit with You Hurt Me, parentheses, Over Again.
Over
As by request from Matey Campoy, the Channels there, January 63 on the hit label. Yes, Daryl, not the same Nashville hit label. This is out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. The Channels with You Hurt Me Over Again as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, a couple weeks ago, I featured this group from Brooklyn, New York on the Laurie label. They were called the Harps, but actually they were called the Camelots, and the same group that recorded on the Anko record label. Thank you, Jeff Baumwell, for that information. But on the Father's Day special theme, so I played the side called Daddy's Going Away Again, which was a cool ballad. But let's give a listen to the up-tempo flip side, this side written by Ernie Maresca. These are the Harps, a.k.a. the Camelots. It's from February 64. These are the Harps on Laurie and their tune called Marie. February 64 release there, the Harps, a.k.a. the Camelots there. On the Laurie record label, song entitled Maria. My aunt really liked that record when I started buying from Disco Discs, 75 cents for these 45's in the mail. Got a copy of that, and she never heard it before, but she liked that tune. She really did. The Harps there, Marie. Now, how about a twin spin by the Camelots, aka the Harps? Now, I'm filling a request for Jeff Baumwell. He wanted to hear the Camelots with an unreleased cut that came out on a Ronnie I EP back in 1981 on Clifton Records. Now, there are two cuts from 1963 which were taken off of acetates, and then there is the flip side are two cuts for, at the time, 1981, the current group members that were performing as the Camelots. So Jeff requested a song from 1963 from one of the acetates. It's the first one on the EP from 63, and the side that he requested was called Music to My Ears. Probably David Nichols, he's on lead as he also gets writer credit. So going out to Jeff Baumwell, these are the Camelots on the Clifton label with Music to My Ears.
It was music to my ears.
and I realized it was music to my ears when you said I love you, I love you. A tear fell from your eyes, then a leaf fell, and I realized I loved you. It was music to my ears when you said I love you, I love you. Together we can write an overture. It will be simply heaven to know that you love me. A tear fell from your eyes, then a leaf fell, and I realized loved you. It was music to my ears when you said I love you.
And by request for Jeff Baumwell, they liking that one there in the YouTube chat room. Those are the Camelot's unreleased master there, actually from an acetate. The Camelot's from 1963, but issued in 81 on the Clifton record label, and you can get actually an EP with the 4 sides there. Plays at 33 1/3 a couple times. I didn't forget to hit the speed on this one. But anyway, those are the Camelot's with music to my ears. Hopefully Johnny G playing music to your ears that you enjoy on Saturday evenings. Got a few more 45s to go before we sign off here. And another song I played on the Father's Day special was by a group called the El Sierros. They were from the Bronx, New York. I featured Daddy's Coming Home from 1,000 Miles Away. And on the B-side, they're doing a cover of the tune Sunday Kind of Love. As we stay in the year 1963, we go to the Yussels label out of Newark, New Jersey. These are the El Sierros on Yussels with Sunday Kind of Love.
I'm through with my own love. I loved her through and through. I'm searching for a new love. Can that new love be you?
I want a Sunday kind of love, love to last past Saturday night. I want to know it's more than love at first sight. I want a Sunday kind of love.
Sunday kind of love.
I want a love that's on the square. Can't seem to find somebody to care. I'm on the road that leads to nowhere. I want a Sunday kind of love.
Sunday kind of love. Do my Sunday dreaming, all my Sunday scheming, every minute, every hour, every
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure. Overtime, the El Cieros, 1963. It's on Yussels Records out of Newark, New Jersey. Their rendition of the tune Sunday Kinda Love, Johnny G and Vinyl Treasure. Overtime, let's continue with a little bit more here. A while back, maybe a few months ago, I closed the show with the Star Brothers on the Cortland label out of Chicago, Illinois from January 63 with the A-side of this 45. It was called Don Juan. Now, the Star Brothers were the duo of Donald Jenkins and Ronnie Strong. Now, let's give a listen to the B-side of the 45 before it goes back down in the no humidity basement. This one from January 63, the Star Brothers on Cortland, with their tune called Down on My Knees. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Star Brothers. January 63, the B-side to Don Juan, a song entitled Down on My Knees, came out on the Cortland record label. Two more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's head to Syracuse, New York, to David Ransom's Ransom record label. Now, this song also came out on the Hammer label with a different flip side. The flip side on that Hammer release was called Get Married in June. That's a 45 that I don't have. I'm looking for that Hammer 45. Pretty rare record, by the way. But let's give a listen to this side here, co-written by the lead singer Rosalind Allen's her name. This one from November 62. They're called the Bell Larks with the Eternals. I take the Eternals are the instrumentation group. It's on the Ransom label. It's called A Million and One Dreams.
I've got a million and one dreams I wish would come true.
I've got a million and one dreams wish would come true.
I've got a million and one dreams, and they're all for you.
I've got stardust
November 1962, there for the Bell Larks. The Bell Larks on the Ransom label. Rosalind Allen, she's on lead there. Their tune called A Million and One Dreams. Well, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with Johnny G, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And you can also go to my website, vinyltreasures.net. You can stream or download the shows there on the website. You can also go to my YouTube account. Been recording this one on the live stream, so that'll be available. I know I'm on for a long time, so you can go back and view the show whenever you'd like. It's there. I took a couple of them off. I have to go back and check because YouTube actually blocked a number of my older videos. They constantly run them through a filter, and I guess when the people or whoever's buying these records, they're putting these copyright issues on them. And I go back to 2015. It's like a record I played. I said, you got to be kidding me. They ban it. So I have to actually go and erase the song off the tape for it to be reposted. It's a pain in the neck. You would think this is like a historical show. I should be doing a class on this. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. We're going to close the show tonight. The closer tonight is a pair of brothers on Johnny J. Jimenez Val J. label. They're George Aguilar and Mickey Dominguez. Collectively, they were called the Parlay Brothers, and this is a song adapted from a 1959 release done by the Eternals on the Hollywood label. If you're familiar with the Eternals and their song My Girl, then you're going to like this tune. Maybe you might like this song that I'm closing the show with tonight. It's from 1964. It's the Parlay Brothers on Val J. It's called My Girl, Please Be True. That's going to do it for the show tonight. Program note, next Saturday I will not be on. I tell you, I'll be at the Circo du Soleil show with my girlfriend Barbara, so we'll be there. I think the show is like 4:30 or something, but I won't make it back before 10 o'clock to do the show. But Ramtown Mike will be filling in, so tune in to Ramtown Mike. If not, I'll see you in 2 weeks for another 50s and early 60s edition. Tune in tomorrow evening for my buddy Dave the Raven, the Relics and Rarities show. Dave starts at 9 p.m., 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies, and all the other DJs that are on here, Top Shelf, beginning at 8 o'clock here on Top Shelf Oldies. That's going to do it, folks. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. Couldn't do the show without your help. Charlene helps me so much with the research and putting together the show. Very important part of the show she is, and a dedicated listener for sure, as many of you are. Thank you for sticking around for the last how many hours I've been on here. So hope you enjoyed the tunes like I did. I will see you here in 2 weeks on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and everybody have a safe and happy week. And again, I'll see you in 2 weeks right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
My girl, where are you tonight? My girl, where are you
That was a hissy record there. I had to shut off the Top Shelf Oldies things. I'm back, folks. Close the official show. This is the record. I bought this from Jerry Diaz. It's in terrible shape. It's styrene. It's the you see, it's the Parlay Brothers. Not clear there. My Girl. He charged me $50 for this record. Jerry Diaz. Where is he? And the other record that I played was by the Larks. Yes, Daryl, that on the Hammer record label, it's Get Married in June, which I don't have. It's a pretty rare record. I had a chance to buy it at one of the Allentown shows for $1,000, but it was styrene and it had white grooves. I said, no way am I going to spend $1,000 on a terrible sounding record. And see, this one's styrene too. It's out of Syracuse. And supposedly somebody, the lady who owned the Hammer label, she had quantity on that record, I understood. So, people were like, and I don't know, I haven't seen these records turn up yet, this Get Married in June record. So the ones that have sold have gone for a lot of money, I understand. But anyway, that does it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. I enjoy bringing you the records. This is the only time I was talking to Warren, and this is the only time that I can really enjoy my records is when I play them on Saturday nights, because I don't have the time with, getting into Newark every day and working, and I sometimes have to work from home and then dealing with all the other stuff. Now, my mother's going to be going for surgery, so it's going to be difficult. I hope everything is okay. With elderly people, when they go for surgery, you don't know how these recoveries go. So I'm really worried about that. But anyway, I think things will be okay. Johnny G's feeling good. And again, thank you so much for sticking around and tuning into the Vinyltreasure Show. Really means a lot. It does. I see you in 2 weeks. And I have more records for you. Send me your requests, folks. And always enjoy you tuning in and bringing you the record. So just good night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.